this year would be with a story. In the summer of 5th grade, I had a sudden reality shock. I was no longer a little kid. I was actually going into middle school. Adults started coming up to me, telling me that I was about to start a new chapter in my new book. To prepare for this new chapter, I decided to do some research. After all, the best way to be prepared for something is to know exactly what will happen. And for me, it was to live it by the book. The very next day, I hurried to the nearest Barnes & Nobles and checked out a few of what I thought were some very middle schooly books. These books all had a different character, a different author, and a different plot line. However, I started to notice a reoccurring theme. That middle school sucks. It's full of bullies, cruel teachers, and people just waiting for you to mess up. For example, in James Patterson's Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life, the main character, as the title suggests, goes through several humiliations. Similarly, in Wonder, the main character is teased and bullied relentlessly. The more I read, the more I feared. Would I be bullied? Would I be the teacher's target? Would I not have any friends? As the weeks of summer flew by, I started to prepare myself by telling myself to stay low, don't attract any attention, and basically be invisible. Finally, after weeks of research, I felt ready. I was about to begin my 3-year battle. Armed with clothes that camouflaged me to every other person and the constant reminders of humiliations, I stepped into 6th grade. However, when middle school actually began, I realized that I was still not prepared. There are so many things coming into my life that weren't mentioned in any of the stories. Life was not going by the book, and I was completely unprepared. I didn't know that I'd meet teachers who genuinely wanted me to thrive and to learn. I didn't know school would be a welcoming place, and I'd meet so many incredible friends. But most of all, I was unprepared for the fact that I was going to start new hobbies, develop new passions, and overall, just change as a person. Initially, I thought that middle school would be like torture, but in the end, it was one of my favorite years. It was fun, exciting, and new. However, everything, good or bad, has to come to an end. And today is that day. Whether or not we want to think about it, this part of our journey is about to end. We're about to take our next great leap into high school. Soon enough, parents will come up to us, telling us that we're about to start a new chapter in our book. And we have every reason to be scared and frightened. After all, none of the stories of high school have been particularly positive. 5th grade me at this point would be pouring into books, desperate to find a protagonist story that I could copy. However, middle school showed me that life does not always go to plan. Let's not assume what will happen. After all, life is life. We can't see what will happen, but we can always make the best of it. And the first step in doing that is to be open-minded, to be willing to meet new people, to try new things, and to develop into the next phase of our lives. So, for this coming year, I plan and challenge you all not to go by some pre-written story, but to be bold enough to write our own authentic book. Thank you.
Whoa.